So, hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Catherine, and I do speak about emotional wellness. And in my previous conversations or video, I had started initiating the topic called attachments. And if you haven't seen it, kindly go, I'll link it in the description box. But in attachment is whereby I discussed on how people interact with intimacy, how you relate to now us as adults to the way we embrace affection and love towards our partners if you are seeking for one, or if you're already in a relationship, how you relate to that, to the love that you're being given. And we said like there are different attachment styles. One of them was anxious. So what kind of people have anxious attachment, and what is their upbringing that they tend to have? It is because their love was sometimes there and sometimes not, which meaning that it was unpredictable. And as a result, when you're a child, you developed a coping mechanism in order to maintain that attention and ensure that they don't slip out of reach. So it's the same coping mechanism that you're using as an adult, since you grew up whereby love was unstable and unpredictable, either in a separated home, in a divorced home, in a single parent home. You see, the love was unstable, it was so unpredictable. Or even grew up in a family whether even both parents were there, but they withheld emotional affection to you. Sometimes they would give you emotional affection, sometimes they would withhold it. So out of that upbringing, now you are an anxious attacher when it comes to love. And what is the signs? The first sign is that relationship tend to consume a large part of your emotional energy. The minute you join in a relationship, like, I understand the infatuation, I understand that you want to tell everyone that you're in a relationship, but I believe like this, it has taken, there are things maybe you are not the word consume. So in short, there were things that you were meant to do during that day, you ended up not doing them out of the name that you're now in a relationship. That is you. The other thing is you constantly seek validation. You always want that reassurance, of which I say that is part of a relationship. You need to be reassured. But then the keyword constant, if you're not told I love you, you think that the other person is not in the relationship. Or if you didn't get a text within the day and maybe they were held up with something, you still believe that their person is not into the relationship, he or she is not taking you seriously. So that constant seeking of validation is among the signs. The other thing is that you tend to be very sensitive to moods and action. And yes, even though your senses are accurate, and but you take your partner's behaviors personally. So out of that, you do experience a lot of negative emotions like sadness, anger. And within that emotion, you can get easily upset. As a result, you act out and later regret, like, of which it's normal. I believe like in everyone, in any relationship, when your partner doesn't align with what is it that you want in that relationship, you can take it personally. But you have to understand here, it is you tend it is a norm that you're always sensitive, that you're always over, I hate saying the word overreacting, but majority of people tend to overreact or over exaggerate. We are not saying that your emotions or your opinions are valid, but when you over exaggerate, you over heighten it. Like, the action and the outcome don't go hand in hand. And out of that, as I said, you act out and then later regret when you come to realize that, you know what, I shouldn't have reacted. As much as there was a problem, I shouldn't have reacted the way that I did. Like, the extent to which I reacted, it didn't align with the mistake that was done. You see? So that is another sign. The other thing is that you have needy and attention seeking behaviors. as I said, your upbringing, it was unstable in terms of love. So you either during that period when your parent would leave you alone, you would shout and cry like you wanted to cry so much so that somebody, you attention. Because you want attention. But now as an adult, you have to do something. Either you have to put your partner in a jealous riffraff, or when you go to a place and something and maybe you're arguing, you have to shout to seem that you're angry. You see, you always have those needy seeking behaviors. It's out of your upbringing. So if that's you, you have this attachment, you have a discomfort of being alone, because you know how it feels like to be left. It is your inner child that is in control during these periods, because you know how it feels not being shown love, being in an unstable, like I'll see you today and I'll not see you tomorrow. Now the only way for you, it is to ensure that you always in a relationship. After this relationship, you can't stand for long being alone. Now you join another relationship. So that is you. That is another sign you can't stand to be by yourself. The other thing is that you always have threats of leaving the relationship. You have to understand, you grew up in the norm whereby today there is love, tomorrow there is no love. So it's being expressed whereby today you're in out of the relationship and tomorrow you're out. Like it is how the wiring. And understand, like relationship, there is no relationship that won't have its riffraffs. And last but not least is that you always have that paralyzing fear that relationship will end. And that comes about, because bringing that you had was always that of anxiety. So it's the one that is being reflected now that you're an adult, you being fearful that the relationship will end, even if there are no like danger signs, or if there are no real red flags to ensure this relationship will end. So I come to the end of my topic. If I've missed out on any signs, kindly comment in the description box, and I'll see you as we discuss on how those people should handle themselves, them being anxious attachers. Thank you.